In this video, I will explain how garlic strengthens the immune system, lowers blood pressure and cholesterol levels, prevents atherosclerosis, protects cells from oxidative stress and aging, reduces the risk of certain types of cancer, promotes healthy digestion, and helps combat eating disorders. I will also discuss its antimicrobial and antiviral properties and much more. I will also talk about contraindications and share tips on how to maximize the benefits of consuming garlic, as well as safe daily intake recommendations for children and adults. This video is going to be incredibly informative and helpful. If you want to take control of your health like a pro, give it a like, and let's get started. Garlic and onions have always been with us. These foods have become a part of our lives, yet we often do not know what they actually contain, how they help, or how they may affect us. It is not exactly known where garlic originated, but it is believed to have come from Central Asia, specifically the mountainous regions of Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and northern Iran. Its exact history and cultivation timeline remain unclear, but it is considered one of the oldest vegetable crops in the world. I would say it is both a vegetable crop and a seasoning at the same time. Do you know how spices were viewed in ancient times? They were highly valued, especially Eastern spices. The ancient Greeks appreciated garlic, and even Hippocrates used garlic and garlic mixed with honey to treat lung diseases. In ancient Rome, garlic was famous for its ability to combat parasites that lived in the intestines. Yes, imagine that this was already known in ancient Rome. That is why Roman legionnaires wore it on their chests. They believed it had strong antibacterial properties and often ate it along with the murky water they sometimes had to drink from questionable sources. So in war, any war, garlic could always come in handy. For many years, garlic was considered an effective remedy against the plague. And it was not until the mid-19th century that the famous French scientist Louis Pasteur confirmed these claims. He was the first to write about the antiseptic properties of garlic. What did he do? He placed a clove of garlic on a plate with bacteria and soon noticed that almost no living microbes remained around the garlic. Because of this ability to fight bacteria, garlic and garlic-based solutions were called folk penicillin. Interestingly, garlic is believed to have arrived in North America thanks to European colonizers and explorers. It was brought over by the Spanish, Portuguese, and other European nations during their expeditions and colonization of the New World. Garlic was widely used to fight infections as early as World War I, but why do we no longer use it for medical purposes today? Because we no longer have traditional healers or folk medicine. And whenever I make a video about how food can be used for healing, it gets a massive number of views. But the moment I say that a doctor's consultation is necessary, the number of views drops significantly. Moving forward, I will try to discuss all foods in terms of, first, their availability, and second, their use as medicine. Besides containing important substances like phosphorus, magnesium, selenium, manganese, and iodine, garlic is also rich in essential oils. You are probably familiar with essential oils. It is impossible not to notice them when passing by someone who has eaten garlic. Overall, the significance of these compounds for human health cannot be overstated. To give you a clearer idea, I will discuss a few of them. For instance, selenium, which is found in garlic, helps combat cardiovascular diseases and activates the production of thyroid hormones, which is beneficial for hypothyroidism. Did you know this? Share in the comments if you suffer from hypothyroidism and were aware of garlic's benefits for this condition. Manganese plays a role in numerous internal processes and is essential for integrating calcium into bone tissue. As you might have guessed, this helps prevent osteoporosis, a serious disease that primarily affects women, especially in the postmenopausal period. Additionally, vitamin B6, among other things, influences the central nervous system, specifically by promoting the production of serotonin, also known as the happiness hormone. Garlic is also rich in tryptophan, which is actually used to produce this happiness hormone. I have many videos on my YouTube channel explaining how tryptophan is converted into serotonin and what conditions are necessary for this process. In short, happiness is in your hands. Watch and expand your knowledge. Garlic contains very important compounds called phytoncides. These substances prevent garlic from being eaten by certain organisms, but I'm not talking about us. I mean various bacteria, fungi, and similar microorganisms. Phytoncides are bactericidal compounds, and since they help protect against microorganisms and insects, it makes sense that when you eat garlic, these substances come into contact with the mucous membrane of your mouth. Because of this, garlic has bactericidal anthelmintic, that is, anti-parasitic, in simpler terms, against worms, and fungicidal, meaning antifungal effects. The anti-parasitic properties of garlic are more or less confirmed by scientists in different countries around the world. In other words, this is widely recognized. However, it is important to understand that garlic alone cannot be used as a treatment. You should not think of it as a cure for all illnesses. Garlic does not replace standard therapeutic protocols, and without consulting a doctor, it is not advisable to rely on it for treatment. An excess of phytoncides in the body can lead to serious poisoning. Regarding the common cold, it should be acknowledged that the phytoncides and essential oils found in garlic do have some antiviral and antibacterial effects. So the ancient Romans and Roman soldiers were right. A recent study showed that people who regularly consumed garlic had colds 3 times less often than those who did not. The duration of illness was nearly twice as short with the consumption of this vegetable, and it is worth noting that in the era of pandemics, this property is just as valuable. To date, garlic has undergone, just think about this number, 15,000 clinical trials, which have proven that it supports human longevity in 3 key ways. The 3 main causes of reduced lifespan today are high blood pressure, cardiovascular diseases, heart attacks, strokes, and of course, cancer. Cancer falls between the first and second points. It turns out that garlic increases the activity of the fibrinolytic system. This complex term refers to the process that prevents blood clot formation just as effectively as cardioaspirin. Fibrinolytic means dissolving fibrin, so garlic helps prevent heart attacks, strokes, and lung thrombosis. This means that blood clots do not form, blood vessels do not get clogged, and overall health is maintained. Scientists from the University of Los Angeles recently discovered that garlic extract successfully breaks down soft, newly formed cholesterol plaques in the arteries. Of course, it cannot remove old, already hardened plaques, but it does dissolve new, fresh ones. And this has been confirmed by research in the United States. Additionally, regular consumption of garlic in food helps lower cholesterol. This even allows some patients to stop taking statins daily. Let me know. Do you take statins? Who prescribed them for you, and would you like to manage without them? Perhaps it makes sense to start incorporating garlic into your routine. How much garlic should I take, doctor? Will this garlic help me manage without statins? Stay until the end of this video, and I will explain everything. You have probably heard that garlic contains an organic compound called allicin. Allicin in garlic is formed when you chop or crush it. When you cut, chop, or crush a garlic clove, alliin, an amino acid found in intact garlic, reacts with the enzyme alliinase, converting into allicin. This process happens quickly and leads to the formation of allicin, which gives garlic its distinctive smell and taste, and is responsible for many of its health benefits. Thanks to this compound, garlic can lower blood pressure by an average of 5 millimeters of mercury. Surprisingly, garlic even surpasses some medications in this regard. For example, garlic is just as effective as the drug atenolol. How does this happen? What is it in garlic that suddenly causes blood vessels to relax and blood pressure to drop? It turns out that allicin helps relax the smooth muscle fibers surrounding blood vessels. When these muscles relax, blood vessels expand. When they tighten, blood vessels constrict. If a vessel constricts, the pressure inside it increases, as you correctly guessed. So, by relaxing blood vessels, we lower blood pressure, and that is exactly what garlic does. It works remarkably well. We should not forget about magnesium, which garlic also contains in significant amounts. Remember, there is a video on this channel about magnesium. Here is how magnesium works. When you experience stress, your body releases magnesium into the bloodstream. And during stress, blood vessels constrict, including those in the heart. This is why people often experience heart attacks under stress. The vessel is already partially blocked by a cholesterol plaque. Now, under stress, a person becomes anxious, blood vessels narrow, and the heart does not receive enough blood, leading to a heart attack. Magnesium enters the bloodstream and relaxes these vessels, playing the same role as garlic. They work as a team. This magnesium is essential for keeping our blood vessels relaxed so that we can handle stress more easily. Speaking of garlic's effects on blood vessels, circulation, and improved blood flow, how can men not think about prostate health? After all, the condition of these blood vessels determines the speed of blood flow to the reproductive organs, specifically the pelvic organs. This is particularly relevant for men who frequently experience stagnant prostate issues. Interestingly, preventing prostate inflammation pairs well with cranberries. There was recently a video on our channel about cranberries, and now you know about their antibacterial properties. So cranberries and garlic are a natural remedy for prostate health. And of course, for everything to function properly, there needs to be healthy blood circulation, and garlic ensures that. You do not need medication, just a bit of garlic and everything will be fine. At the same time, garlic stimulates testosterone production, which also boosts male vitality. For this purpose, men are recommended to use garlic tincture. However, today's pharmaceutical market is very considerate and offers several garlic-based medications. But I believe it is better to consume natural garlic, which we have used all our lives, rather than taking unnecessary pills. Moreover, we have turned our lives into a continuous dependence on various medications. I do not know how many pills you take per day, but we have to take pills for cholesterol, blood pressure, blood clots, diabetes, hypothyroidism, uric acid. So basically, we take pills for everything. The number of them is already alarming. You can no longer want something on your own. If you want to sleep, you need to take a pill. If you want to feel love, you need to take a pill. Eating, sleeping, going to the bathroom, love, excitement, and finally, the main pill, remembering to take a pill. I meant memory-enhancing pills. Garlic has long been known as a powerful healing remedy. To this day, garlic remains one of the main ingredients in traditional recipes in many countries around the world. For example, in India, this vegetable is used to treat asthma, the French use it to treat the flu, and the Germans use it to treat tuberculosis. In Italy and Spain, folk healers recommend treating intestinal diseases with garlic, while Afghans consider it beneficial for lung diseases and certain ailments, including fatigue. All of this is true, but it is still important not to exaggerate the properties of garlic. Most importantly, remember that despite the fact that this video is called What Diseases Garlic Treats, it is still just a spice or food, and definitely not a miraculous cure. Using it for treatment is certainly possible and necessary, but only in combination with other medications and exclusively with your doctor's approval. And now, just for a moment, a drum roll. How much should you eat per day to get all these beneficial properties of garlic? Surprise, surprise, it is just 2 cloves of garlic in the morning and 2 cloves of garlic in the evening. Well, you can skip the evening dose to avoid scaring your spouse before bed. And in principle, the morning dose is enough, but not on an empty stomach after a meal. Please remember this. We constantly hear about the healing properties of garlic, and it inevitably creates the impression that it is some kind of miracle remedy, even for me. For example, in 2008, the Minister of Health of South Africa recommended garlic as the primary treatment for HIV. I assume they had no other options at the time because I cannot explain it otherwise. But that was in South Africa, not here. Or is it happening here too? Leave a comment and we will read it. And when the swine flu epidemic broke out in China in 2009, rumors about garlic's ability to fight the disease led to speculative demand, and garlic prices skyrocketed. Can you guess by how much? By 40 times. Think about that. It is extremely important to be careful when giving garlic to children. For example, it is often offered as a preventive remedy for the flu and acute respiratory viral infections. But even if they are not allergic, consuming a large amount of garlic can cause severe pain in the stomach, intestines, and even all those delicate, sensitive parts of the digestive system, including the esophagus. Our grandmother's favorite garlic necklaces were worn by all children who started going to kindergarten. Do you remember those recommendations from the internet and various magazines about tying a few cloves of garlic around a child's neck, placing them in a linen bag or in a container? And I remember what it was called, that yellow container from a Kinder Surprise toy. They would put garlic inside, poke holes in it, and every child in kindergarten had that container hanging around their neck. At least we had time to eat the Kinder Surprise before that. Let me know in the comments if you or your children ever had a Kinder Surprise container hanging around your neck. Now, a few words about cancer. Scientists have long discovered the anti-cancer properties of certain garlic components. To maximize these anti-cancer properties, garlic cloves should be chopped into small pieces and left for about 10 minutes before cooking. Due to the disruption of cellular integrity, chemical reactions occur in the garlic during this time, leading to the formation of a substance that can have a destructive effect on cancer cells. That characteristic garlic smell is caused by the very same substance, allicin, which has already been mentioned. And it turns out that this substance actively helps, not cures, but helps in the treatment of lung cancer, but only if it is a primary tumor, not metastases. For example, prostate cancer often spreads to the lungs, in which case it would be a prostate cancer tumor, not a primary lung tumor. Garlic is particularly effective against tumors that originate in the lungs. According to research conducted by Chinese scientists, consuming one whole head of garlic twice a week reduces the risk of cancer by 44%, even in high-risk groups. For example, in smokers, I am talking, of course, about lung cancer. For the processes of cell division and metastasis, cancer cells need a constant supply of nutrients. However, the allicin in garlic contributes to what we might call starvation of tumor tissues, as they receive fewer nutrients. The spread of the malignant process is blocked due to this, meaning that cells do not grow, do not divide, and do not metastasize. Being a strong antioxidant, allicin even partially destroys tumor cancer cells. That is why, in my practice of nutrition for cancer patients, especially those with lung cancer, I always recommend consuming garlic daily. Another substance, such as quercetin, which is found in garlic along with sulfur compounds, is believed by scientists from the American Cancer Control Institute to complement and enhance the action of allicin as an anti-cancer complex. Quercetin can slow down and in some cases even stop the growth of malignant tumors in the colon, meaning colorectal cancer, as well as in the tissues of the esophagus, stomach, and bladder. So in cases of these types of cancer, garlic can also be very beneficial. Sulfur compounds, and this is very interesting, the sulfur compounds in garlic can penetrate the blood-brain barrier and fight brain cancer, glioblastoma. So we have the blood-brain barrier, which separates our blood from the brain, and not all substances can pass through it. However, the compounds in garlic are capable of penetrating it and affecting a type of cancer such as glioblastoma. In fact, it is already known today that garlic successfully helps fight 13 types of malignant tumors. These include myeloid leukemia, leukemia or chronic lymphocytic leukemia, pancreatic cancer, colon cancer, breast cancer, endometrial cancer, cervical cancer, liver cancer, stomach cancer, osteosarcoma, and lymphoma, as well as some other forms of cancer. Regular consumption of garlic helps stimulate blood formation, a function that is suppressed by chemotherapy. And of course, selenium, which is also found in garlic, actively prevents complications from chemotherapy. Selenium helps patients tolerate chemotherapy more easily, protects the body from side effects of such treatment, and prevents chromosomal DNA damage. At Loma Linda University in California, experiments were conducted involving gamma radiation exposure to human white blood cells. Essentially, the cells were destroyed by a high dose of radiation. However, this is quite normal. White blood cells grown in garlic extract, on the other hand, retain their viability. As a result, doctors conducting the experiment concluded that garlic serves as good prevention for people undergoing radiation therapy as part of their cancer treatment. Even a quick look at the effects of garlic on the human body provides an understanding of the important role it plays in the fight against cancer. However, official medicine is in no hurry to recommend garlic to cancer patients. No oncologist will tell you, eat garlic, it is very beneficial for you. Unfortunately, no oncologist has yet explained to any patient how exactly to eat based on their specific type of cancer. Of course not, they simply do not know about it. They are just doing their job. Some patients receive chemotherapy, others undergo surgery. Nutrition is something so secondary to them. The most they might mention is to drink as much water as possible, but that is only during chemotherapy. And of course, to maintain nutrition so that the person does not lose weight or become emaciated while still nourishing the body. But in doing so, we are feeding the cancerous tumor. And to nourish it in a way that allows us to receive as many beneficial nutrients as possible, while depriving the tumor of these nutrients, essentially starving it, we need to choose the right diet. But doctors in hospitals and oncology clinics do not deal with this. According to statistics, millions of people around the world pass away from cancer every year. According to the World Health Organization, as I have mentioned, cancer is the second most significant cause of people passing away globally, second only to cardiovascular diseases. Approximately 9,600,000 people lost their lives to cancer in 2018, accounting for about 1 in 6 cases of people passing away worldwide. This is approximately 17% of all cases, and no one tells them anything. It must be said that proper and correct consumption of garlic in such cases could significantly strengthen the immune defense of these patients and greatly reduce the number of people who pass away from this disease. I am in no way encouraging you to stop taking medications. Many drugs are absolutely necessary, genuinely help, save lives, and extend life, especially for such patients. This is not even up for discussion. I simply want to draw your attention to the fact that nature, our nature, is already ready to offer us effective ways to combat the most serious diseases. But unlike chemotherapy without side effects, and at a price much lower than the cost of medication in pharmacies. And it is unfortunate that most cancer patients do not even realize this. Now, I hope you have no doubt that garlic has many benefits for us and should be consumed daily. Leave your comments. And now, pay attention. Contraindications to consuming garlic. Do not forget about the other side of the coin. This vegetable contains powerful substances, an excess of which can lead to unwanted consequences and only worsen the situation when consumed, especially when used for treatment. It is necessary to be extremely cautious and not overuse it. It is important to remember that even if you do not have direct contraindications to consuming garlic, excessive intake of garlic can lead to unwanted side effects such as heartburn, stomach upset, or unpleasant breath odor. It is always recommended to consult a doctor before starting any type of treatment, including using garlic as a medicinal remedy. You should also limit your consumption of garlic on an empty stomach, but I have already mentioned this as well as a week before an upcoming surgery because it affects blood clotting. In other words, it makes our blood thinner. Are you taking blood-thinning medications such as aspirin or something similar? This is why garlic is so effective. Even before surgery, you should remove it from your diet because it can cause bleeding. Garlic should not be consumed if you have pancreatitis, gallstone disease, have had your gallbladder removed, or have liver disease because it strongly stimulates the digestive system and may lead to spasms and heartburn. It should not be consumed if you have epilepsy because it may trigger a seizure. These are the main contraindications. So how much garlic is safe, and at what age can children and adults start consuming it? Garlic can be introduced into a child's diet at 6 to 7 years old, but only in very small amounts and after consulting a pediatrician. It is important to start with small doses, such as a quarter or half of a garlic clove added to food, to assess the child's reaction. If the child tolerates garlic well and has no allergic reactions, the amount can be gradually increased, but it should not exceed 1 clove per day. For adults, moderate consumption of garlic is considered safe and can be about 1 to 2 cloves per day. However, this depends on individual tolerance and the presence of medical conditions that may limit garlic consumption. If you have chronic illnesses or are taking medications, consulting a doctor before increasing your garlic intake is essential. It should be remembered that garlic contains powerful biologically active compounds, and excessive consumption may cause side effects such as irritation of the gastrointestinal tract, changes in blood clotting, and other issues. Finally, let's talk about the very unpleasant odor that many people worry about. How can I eat garlic in the morning if I have to go to work? Or would it be better to eat it in the evening, for example, at 19 o'clock? And what if I'm going to sleep in the same bed with my spouse? What should I do? There are several simple ways to get rid of the unpleasant odor after eating garlic. Chewing fresh herbs such as parsley, mint, basil, or drinking green tea can help neutralize the smell due to their fresh aroma and chlorophyll content. Consuming dairy products such as a glass of milk, yogurt, or a piece of cheese after a meal may help reduce the garlic odor. Chewing a slice of lemon or rinsing your mouth with diluted lemon juice can also help eliminate the smell. Chewing coffee beans may absorb the garlic odor. Apples contain natural enzymes that help neutralize the garlic smell. Drinking a cup of green tea may also help eliminate the odor due to its polyphenol content. Activated charcoal tablets can absorb odors, including garlic breath, but you should consult a doctor before using them. Good oral hygiene is also important. Regular toothbrushing, flossing, and using mouthwash can help reduce garlic odor. The method you choose depends on your personal preferences and options. It is important to remember that different methods may be more effective for different people. What are your thoughts on this topic? Do you agree with these statements? If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. Next, I recommend checking out these videos, and don't forget to leave your likes and comments. I'm looking forward to them.